Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is John Viglotti, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you joined us for our next live presentation from Myriad Uranium. Please note you can submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view today's presenters' availability for one-on-one meetings through the Schedule Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Thomas Lamb. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Myriad Uranium Corp, which trades on the OTCQB venture market under the symbol MYRUF and on the CSE under the symbol M. Welcome, Thomas.
Hi, thanks. It's great to be here. Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to tell you about Myriad. I think it's a hidden gem company that's going to have a very exciting year and, in fact, next 2 years. So I want to say off the top, even if you don't invest, I suggest you put us on your ticker so you can watch the evolution of the company. We have exciting things ahead, and you're going to see us build this company. It's going to be very interesting. So I'm going to switch to our legals page. I will make some forward-looking statements. I think you all understand what that means. And the resource numbers that I talk about are historic, not current. And there's a distinction there. That means that they were estimated several decades ago. They were estimated by Union Pacific Railway. They did very high quality work. They're very robust estimates, but they are what we have to call historic. So we're going to bring them current as part of our business plan. So I'm going to get right to it, to the heart of the story, and then I'll expand on all the points. The situation is this. I think because of this conference, a lot of you will be already specialists or lay experts in uranium and energy metals. But uranium is the hottest commodity right now. It's rocketed up from about $30 a pound to now approximately $90 a pound. And everybody thinks it's going to continue to go up. The big banks say $120, $150. So uranium is hot. Second point is that the United States uses about 50 million pounds of uranium a year to fuel its reactors. But the US only produces 165,000 pounds a year. It gets its uranium from Canada, Kazakhstan, other places, et cetera. Well, that's about to change. US government is going to, and this is bipartisan, is going to change all that. US is going to produce all of its own uranium for energy security purposes. Wyoming is the center of that. Wyoming has 3 out of the 4 current uranium mines in the US and a lot of historic production, a lot of deposits, including ours. So the money is going to pour into the United States, and it's going to pour into Wyoming. Wyoming's the focus. Our company is a relatively new company, and we did a surprise deal in 2023, in October 2023, so it's quite recent, to acquire an earnable 75% interest in the Copper Mountain Uranium Project. It's right in the middle of Wyoming. I wish it was called the Uranium Mountain Uranium Project, but that's okay. We did the deal and negotiated it starting a few months before it closed without really understanding, we couldn't understand what the project had. We knew that it was a past producer and it had some interesting characteristics, but neither we nor our partner fully understood it. We signed the letter of intent and started going through some historic data that we had acquired, and it revealed that we have an outstanding project on our hands. I'm excited to tell you about it. This has gone from being our company, from a small explorer to quite an advanced stage company. It's not reflected in our share price. We are not promoters. We are company builders, and we do expect the market to figure us out, and we'll get a big re-rating, I think an order of magnitude re-rating when this all is understood. You can see the last point on this slide. We only have 34.5 million shares out, and the company's 46% insider held, including yours truly. I'm a big shareholder. I think I'm the second largest on the NOBO list. And I got all those shares. That's hard money. Put hundreds of thousands of dollars in at 20 cents or higher. So there's no cheap stock in this company, just so you know. So as I mentioned, we did the deal to acquire our interest in Copper Mountain. We discovered some historic data, and that historic data revealed that instead of just being an exploration stage project, we found out that Union Pacific Railway in the 1960s and 70s had spent the equivalent of 78 million US on our project. That's in today's dollars. That's a huge amount of money for our little market cap. That market cap at the bottom there is Canadian, so it's about 7 million US. They had advanced plans to mine Copper Mountain. I'm going to tell you what they estimated there in a minute, but we have their mine plans. This is an advanced project, remarkably advanced. Some people say that our peers are now not these junior explorers, but companies like Laramide and Peninsula. You can look them up. They have market caps in that range that I indicate there, 175. I think Laramide might be 177 million Canadian and Peninsula 200. And that's because we have big historic resource numbers. So uranium, I think that I will not talk a lot about uranium. When I'm speaking to people who don't know a lot about it, I want to tell them that it's zero carbon or zero carbon. It's incredibly cheap relative to other forms of like generating electricity, etc. But I think a lot of the viewers here are here precisely because they understand the uranium thesis. Probably a lot of you also know that last uranium cycle, 2007, 8, 9, etc., quality juniors, and we think that uranium is a very high quality junior, did extremely well, the massive spikes in their share prices. There's a company called Strathmore. It's not the same Strathmore that you have today, although maybe there's a connection. Strathmore owned part of our Copper Mountain project, along with Encore, what is now Encore. Encore's another company called Neutron Energy was folded into Encore. Neutron Energy / Encore and Strathmore each owned part of our project area. Strathmore last cycle went from a 2 million market cap to a $457 million market cap. Just want that to sink in. This is our project. So, as you can guess, I believe this is the stage to invest in quality juniors like Myriad, because you have this potential. We could go parabolic here. Why are uranium prices rising? I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I think you know that the supply and demand is out of whack, and there is no fix for that. We're 20, 30, 40 million pounds a year in deficit, and that's not going to be fixed until maybe 2008, 2009 at the very soonest. And bulls think that it's going to be well after that. So it's exciting times in uranium. Wyoming, again, is the focus. U.S. government bipartisan support for the uranium sector. And John Barrasso, Wyoming senator, is leading all this, and he's a very strong senator. Little slide on Wyoming. This is our location. You can see it's a little bit hard to see depending on how big your screen is, but we're right in the midst of all the big names, UR Energy, UEC, et cetera. There's some Cameco projects, and Peninsula is up to the northeast. This is a kind of a stylized map of our project area, but you can see these are historic mines. We have a lot of historic mining, where a lot of historic mining took place on our license in our project area, and we have a lot of prospects. And back to Union Pacific, in the 1970s, especially, they spent all that money, in the 70s, million dollars US. They drilled 2,000 boreholes on our project. They identified 6 uranium deposits. So you can imagine we did this deal in October, and we were going through the data in September and October, and we had this deal, and all this was revealed to us. We thought we'd really won the lottery. This is a very, as you can see, very exciting. 2,000 boreholes, 6+ deposits, a mine plan, which they were developing in the late 1970s, which they aborted after the 3 Mile Island, effectively after the 3 Mile Island accident in 1979. Uranium prices fell dramatically, and everybody in the United States basically stopped mining uranium. So that's what happened. It's not because there's a problem here. We have tons of uranium. You can see they estimated for mine planning purposes between 15 and 30 million pounds of uranium. This is for a 3.5 pit mine plan right in the center. And this is not public company purposes. These estimates, these are for engineering and mine planning purposes, internal. So they were not trying to, be optimistic. In fact, quite the contrary. They estimated the potential of the project area to be over 60 million pounds. And then in more optimistic historical data we have, they're thinking up to a couple 100 million pounds. So it's an exciting area. The ore is highly leachable. They've tested it. Recovery is 90 to 95%, so that you could do conventional mining, put it on a heap, leach it like gold or copper, and get 90 to 95% recoveries. We think, based on the data, 94%, but you cannot hold me to that. That's just what it looked like based on the 1970s test work. And some people are cautiously, our experts and the historical data too, there is some optimism regarding in situ recovery, but we need to do quite a bit more work on that. We certainly can't guarantee it. Paper-based data. We have historic reports, resource estimates, maps, and they're very exciting. They're proprietary. We're leveraging them, and if you've been following our recent news releases, you'll have seen that we're adding exciting areas. And we're adding lots of exciting areas around our project that were not included in the historic resource estimates by Union Pacific. So this is all on top. The Bonanza mine, you can see it says produced estimated 30,000 tons. That's about 750,000 pounds of uranium at 1.3% uranium. So those of you who understand, 1.3% uranium in Wyoming at the surface is a really extraordinarily high grade. So we're looking good. We acquired the Bonanza mine. We acquired other projects I'll speak to, and prospects that are very exciting, that again, not included in Union Pacific's mine plan and resource estimates, but we will work them and add them to our resources in due course. That's part of our plan. Big exploration upside. Union Pacific talked about this in their internal reports. Neutron Energy / Encore. Again, now Encore Energy, we have their internal management reports from when they held this area, talking about the very exciting exploration upside here. That's a quote from one of their reports at the top right, by the way. Davis and Wilton are the authors of these reports. They were doing work for Neutron and Encore. Mining potential. We put out a news release recently that talked about some drilling in the center of what was going to be the central and main pit in Union Pacific's mine plan. And in particular, a high-grade area in this pit that we reported intercepts up to 3,850 ppm, which is a very nice high grade, and long intercepts, 291 feet. And this is at or very near surface. And this takes us a lot closer, brings us a lot closer to mining than we thought, than anybody thought. The uranium is there. There's lots of high grade. It's near surface, and it can be mined conventionally. So we can get into these details if you like, but on the questions. So very exciting. So I mentioned the Union Pacific Railway resource estimates, 15 to 30 million pounds. Their potential, which is kind of we call it maybe a target, these days of over 60 million pounds. But we have added areas around Copper Mountain, Knob, Midnight, and Bonanza. Knob, the historic documents talk about 500,000 pounds at 0.15 with big exploration or expansion upside. Midnight, Union Pacific thought and others thought up to 10 million pounds. That is just to the southeast of our existing project area. We've added, so now it's included. Those 10 million pounds, which of course are a target or an estimate, not a resource estimate, but those are not included in Union Pacific's resource estimates. Bonanza Mine, we've added that, thought to have produced 780,000 pounds at 1.3%. That's a very high grade. That's right next to us. The Arrowhead Mine in the center of our license area, also not included in the Union Pacific resource estimates. It produced 500,000 pounds at 0.15, and it's thought that it has a lot more ore left in it. At least 500,000 pounds is what we're seeing in the documents. This is what I just spoke about. The news release we put out. This area of special interest was investigated by Anaconda in the 1990s. Pardon me. They went back to the historic drilling by Union Pacific, and we reported on that a month or a month and a half ago. It's in the center of our area. It would be in the center of the pit that the pit that Union Pacific had planned, and nice long high grade intercepts. A little bit more detail on this. You can see grade thicknesses, etc. You can take a look at our PowerPoint on our website if you want to get into the detail. So what does all this mean? These circles here are the uranium deposits in Wyoming. The resource estimate that Union Pacific put out, the 30 million, which is at the high end of their estimate range. By the way, it's not really a range. It just depends which deposits they wanted to include. There are lots of deposits in our project area, which deposits they include and which method they use to sort of slow neutron, fast neutron adjustments they made to their probe data. But we're right up there as one of the biggest projects in Wyoming. If we hit their target, the Union Pacific target of over 60 million pounds, we are larger than Lance. That's Peninsula's Lance. We're up at we're the biggest project in Wyoming. We're already close. And, can you believe it? We signed this letter of intent. We start looking at the data. We thought we were going to continue as a small exploration company that was going to build a business, build a portfolio of projects. And lo and behold, we have one of the largest projects in Wyoming. And this, of course, has not been digested in the market. Also, we have a bit of a problem, which is we don't have as many sellers of stock as we need to, create big volume, et cetera. Hopefully that will change as we grow. It's a common problem of companies that when they kind of flip into this next phase and things get really exciting, when stock is available on the OTC, I think it's a good idea to grab it. Hopefully we get some people trying to sell rather than just buyers. Niger. Some people are asking about Niger. We have world-class projects in Niger. We're right up against two of the largest uranium deposits in the world, with great licenses that were owned by the French government, Areva, and now Orano. We're right by Dassa, which is the best development stage uranium project in the world right now in Niger, and it's in Niger. We have similar geology. We're trying to reproduce that deposit. We also have a project in the north here. It's right by Orano's MYRUF, which is the world's second largest uranium deposit. I'm just trying to through the next. This is our northern project in Niger. You can see very nice target area called MYRUF North. The French were going to drill that, and now we own it, and it's up to us. Goviex is just to the northwest. We border Goviex. We border Orano's MYRUF. We border the producing mines, Somer Cominac, just to the north. So we have absolutely world-class projects in Niger. I'm going to let people look at Niger themselves. Going forward, what are we going to do? By the way, this beautiful picture, that is the Arrowhead mine in the center of our project area. It's lovely. Access is fantastic. It's off the highway, 20, 30 minutes on a gravel road, right in the center of Wyoming. This is the Arrowhead mine pit. So what are we going to do? We're going to bring the historic resource estimates current. These are estimates by Union Pacific, 15 to 30 million pounds, target above 60 million pounds, and then up from there. Indeed, so we're going to be working this summer and next fall to bring resources current, and we are going to explore and advance the high grade that Union Pacific was not that concerned with. They had a big bulk tonnage project in mind. They were less concerned with the high grade. The high grade seems to fall in the faults, and it could just go quite deep, which would be great for us because Union Pacific never drilled deeper than 183 meters. 2,000 holes, none deeper than 183 meters, many terminating in nice high-grade uranium. Now we have that. So we're excited about the high-grade potential. We're going to advance that. At some point, we're going to get to the in-situ recovery testing. I can't say exactly when we'll do that. We have a budget for that in mind, and we'll take a look at that in due course. Shares out 34.5, options, warrants, and you see the fully diluted number. Our cap table includes smart money, sophisticated groups, global top 3 uranium trading house, etc., and more to come on that. Stay tuned in terms of our shareholders and investors. Now, we're going to run out of time, and I want to leave time for questions. We have a really an all-star team. The other people. I think I'm well suited to this too, but we're very lucky to have George van der Walt, a fantastic uranium geologist, leading our technical team. Our board is excellent, top bankers, lawyers, finance people, and we have excellent technical team also. Jim Davis and Ron Hallis on the far right. I hate to skip our others, but I just want to say Jim Davis on the far right is our advisor. He ran Union Pacific's exploration of Copper Mountain in the 1970s. Very excited for us, and he's got lots of ideas and lots of insight. Ron Hallis, just beside him, he was COO of Global Atomic, helped take DASA to development stage, and now they're building a mine. So, and he wants to help us make next world-class discovery. Property option details for Copper Mountain. I'll let you take a look at that yourselves. And thank you very much, everybody. So I'll get to some questions here. And I'll just start. Milestones for Copper Mountain to the end of the year. Really, we want to bring a historic resource current. That is a priority. And we want to investigate some of these high-grade areas that Union Pacific did not. Those are the key milestones. So we have exciting ideas. That is our plan for Copper Mountain. Infrastructure in place for Copper Mountain. There was a heap leach pad built, but it was never utilized by Union Pacific. That was to advance their mine plan. Just great roads and then gravel roads in there. So, but otherwise, no other infrastructure. But it's in really good shape there. It's close to the highway, close to the gravel road. Will we be able to tap any U.S. funds to support the uranium industry in the U.S.? Yes, we're looking into that. What is available? It's grants, subsidies, tax credits, et cetera. There's a lot going on in the U.S. We're optimistic about getting that. There is support in the United States. Is there any danger of losing the Niger properties due to inactivity with the ongoing coup? This is a real thing. You've seen this with GoviEx. They're not advancing as fast as the Niger government would like. We, as an explorer in Niger, it's even riskier for us. We don't have a deposit. We have exploration licenses. So we are trying to understand what the best course of action is there. We're excited about our projects there. We're optimistic about them. How much money do you invest in exploration in Niger, given the current situation? It's not clear. The answer is not clear. So there is a risk. On the other hand, we like the projects and we don't want to lose them. So we're going to do our best to keep them. Let's see what the next questions are. Can I speak to the property option and spend schedule? So we have a 75% earnable interest. We have to spend 5.5 million Canadian dollars within 4 years of this past October. That takes us to 75%. The first 1.5 million of spend gets us to 50%. Subsequent 4 million gets us to 75%. We'll be at 50%, I think, after this season. And then we'll be actually fairly close to earning our full 75%, but it's not clear. So those are the broad strokes. There are some share payments and bonus payments due to our partner, Rush Rare Metals. By the way, I strongly encourage you to look at Rush Rare Metals, our partner on Copper Mountain. They are the owner of Copper Mountain, and they also have a exciting project in Quebec. And rushraremetals.com, that is our deal partner. And so they'll do well as we have success at Copper Mountain. Rush is going to really benefit. So it's a good project for both companies. Other questions here. So I just wanted to mention, somebody asked me a little earlier about the new acquisitions that we've made. This is Knob, Midnight, and Bonanza. These are exciting areas, and I just want to reiterate, we've acquired them. They're now part of our project area. They adjoin our project largely, aside from Knob, which is a little bit farther. And the uranium in those prospects was not included in the resource estimate by Union Pacific. So that is exciting. We already are one of the biggest projects in Wyoming, and we're set to get bigger as we advance. So it's exciting times. We're a little bit short on time here. I invite people to take a closer look at our high-grade potential. There is high grade around. Union Pacific was not focused on it because of their mine plan, which they stuck with, but in the periphery around the edges of our project area, and then also in the center of the central pit in the north, at the Canning pit that Union Pacific had planned, there is a surprising amount of high grade. And we get to focus on that, where Union Pacific was not that concerned. So I've just gone back to this slide. This area is you can see North Canning. That was going to be the big pit. And there's very nice high grade there. And I'm just going to go back and end with this slide. This is a nice picture that you might have to zoom in on. This was and this is the main plan that Union Pacific had to mine our project area. And I think that's it in terms of time and questions. I invite any of you to email me directly. My email address is available, I think, at the end of the PowerPoint, and certainly on the website. Happy to speak to anybody directly. I love questions, and I love interacting with shareholders and prospective investors. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for attending this. I appreciate your joining us, and I look forward to next time.